Hi, hello. So yes, as Charlotte says, I'm a choreographer and a dancer. I live in Bristol. I should also say that I'm originally from Quebec in Canada, just to spare you spending the next 15 minutes or so trying to figure out where my accent might be from. As a little girl, unlike many little girls, I didn't have the dream of becoming a ballerina. I wasn't into physical activity or sports, really. In fact, I hated PE. It was the only blemish on my school reports. So sometimes I wonder how I ended up in such a physical job. I guess to an extent, dance happened to me by accident. I was about 11 when a friend of mine, my best friend in fact, decided she'd enroll in some ballet jazz classes. And I thought, why not join her? I did, but they could have been swimming lessons, they could have been skiing lessons. It just happened that it was dance she was interested in, and I followed her. So when I started these lessons as an 11-year-old, I was a rather shy girl, extra long-limbed girl, and really aware that the chances of being exposed, that the risk of making a fool of myself was quite high. But I carried on. I guess, I'm not sure why I did, but probably in a way I did simply because it was something I was doing with my best friend. At that stage, there is no way I could have guessed the place that dance would come to, the part that dance would come to play in my life. Slowly but surely, however, certain things started to unlock. As I started to work more with the instrument that was my body, I became more aware of its mechanism, of certain sensations, of connections. And so I continued dancing, and from doing ballet jazz, I moved on to studying classical dance and modern techniques. The more I delved into it, the more I understood that I was really only beginning to learn. There were some ideas and concepts that were completely new to me, like the idea, for example, of a center, a bodily place called center from which one could initiate movement. Ideas around relationship to gravity, to the ground, to the space around, to others. Gradually, I became more and more taken by this because it empowered me to decide how I wanted to move. And gradually I became totally inspired by the idea of dance as a means of communicating something about what it is to be human. Dance as a way of connecting with others. So after 5 years training in my hometown of Quebec City, I traveled to La Rochelle in France, led by my curiosity to learn from other teachers. And from La Rochelle, I carried on and came to London, where, whilst completing an MA in performance, I also joined a professional dance company. It was just a dream job opportunity. And although I hadn't intended in settling down in the UK, I just felt this was just too good to miss. So I said, well, okay, I'll do it for a year and see. That was in 1997. And I was with Random Dance for about 8 years. And so I consider myself to be a young choreographer still, having about 6 years ago made the jump from being a dancer within a company setting to now being a freelance choreographer and performer. I guess I have always been interested in working across art forms and in making contact with people in spheres outside of the arts. And although my home feels like it is in the contemporary dance nest, I feel very fortunate that choreography has given me opportunities often to work, sometimes fleetingly, sometimes in greater depths, in a wide range of contexts. I worked with opera, theatre, and film directors. I worked with actors. Here, Michel Terry and Conleth Hill in a national theatre production of Shakespeare's All's Well That Ends Well. With opera singers, with ballet dancers. I work with students, with movement therapists, with scientists. I worked with school children. I work with refugees, with human rights campaigners, with teenagers at risk of exclusion, and many others. And those encounters constantly feed and inspire my creative thinking, and they keep stretching my perspective on things. My career so far has also led me to travel a lot, and I feel very, very incredibly lucky for that. Here is a picture of us crossing a border between Kosovo and Serbia sometime in the around 2000, I guess. A no man's land of about 2 kilometers that everybody had to do on foot. And this is a breathtakingly beautiful ancient Roman amphitheatre in Plovdiv, Romania, where we performed. Traveling, all this traveling, most certainly impacted very deeply on my perspective of the world we live in. Very often, in fact, it made plain the staggering disparity in the distribution of wealth that exists. It made vivid at times the insanity of war as I witnessed the traces it left behind, the holes it left in people's lives and in their homes. Often the traveling also served to remind me of how much we share with one another. In our need to define who we are individually and as part of a community, we seem to be so easily geared towards identifying what sets us apart from the rest, what makes us different. And that's good, but surely that's only good if we also remember how much we share with the rest. And I'd like also to say that the greatest journeys were not always those that took me to faraway lands. Often the most transformative experience happened really close to home. I guess, for example, this journey I made with this young schoolboy in Bristol. He was just bouncing off the walls when we started working. His energy was going in all directions. He just could not stand still. Yet by the end of the week, not only was he performing the dance he had made with all his might and focus, but he could also stand still, engaged, confident, watching the other children perform. I also remember working with a group of elderly men and women in East London, and how touched I was that they all had put their Sunday bests on for the occasion of our performance in their care home. And the pride on their faces as, sitting in their chairs, they danced. It is in interactions like these, as much as in the connection that I make with other artists in the creation of work, and in the connection that I make with an audience when I share that work, that I find inspiration. Dance is, in a way, for me, it's in a way of talking of my contact with the world. But I have to paint an honest picture of what it is to be a freelance choreographer, and it does involve sitting at my desk, at my computer, for many hours, just dealing with general administrative tasks, contacting promoters and venues, writing funding applications and reports. But these hours are all more than worthwhile for the time that I then spend in the studio creating, devising work. And when planning this talk, I was really keen to say something about what it is, what this creative process is of making dance, the experience of being in the studio with dancers and collaborators, embarking on a common creative journey, a journey that's made of many unknowns, towards the creation of something new, a new piece. But I realized I was really lacking the words. Somehow I really couldn't find the words to express how special and powerful that is. So in a way now, because it may be the best way of sharing something of what I do with you all, and because you've been sat for ages and you must be dying to stand up and shake your legs a little bit, because playing is so important, and because there is so much research that says that moving positively changes the way we think, and therefore, in order to make the most out of what's yet to come today, I would love to invite you to all stand, please. And you don't worry, this is not an invitation to learn a routine. This is not an invitation to perform. We're just going to move a little bit. Okay. That was easy. If there are bags at your feet, you might want to put them on the seat just so you've got a little bit more room. Good. Great, guys. And very easily, can we just drop the level of the music a tiny bit, please? And we're just going to bring our shoulders up to our ears, or try, and that's it. Just oil the joints a little bit. Good. And let's do that a couple more times. great. You guys, very good. And we're just going to roll the shoulders, just nice and easy. Yeah, in any direction. Yeah, undoing the nuts, oiling the joints. Nice. And if you're going in one direction, let's go now in the other direction. Good. Yes, big, nice circles. Great. Very nice. Okay, just interlacing the fingers. We're going to press away from the body, softening the knees a bit and just stretching the back. Yeah, round the back up a bit, just stretch that back. Good, and drop. Let's do that once more. Great, guys. And we go, we press forward and stretch that back. Very good. We're doing the same thing this time. We're going up to the ceiling, stretching up to the ceiling. Great. And drop, and once more, fingers interlaced, pressing up towards the ceiling, and drop. Good, we're doing that once more. We're going up to the ceiling, and to your right, just a little bit to stretch to one side. Ah, nice, that's gotta feel nice, right? And the other way. And drop, good, and let's just shake a little bit, just find a little bounce through the legs. Bouncing, 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 bouncing. And shaking the fingers, great, yeah. Just shake it and shake them all over the head. Good, okay, that's great, guys, and drop. Good, and we just take a little stamping, so just shifting the weight from one side to the other. So, 5, 6, 7, and we've got 2, and 1, 2. And 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. We've got 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7. Good, and 1, 2, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2. Good. 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8. One more. Time, 3, 4, sorry, I made a mistake. Once more, time for me, 3, 4, and 5, 6. And if you can, take that into a walk and come on stage. Take that into a walk and come join me. And 1, 2, 3, great, good. Keep walking and come on stage. 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7, 8, good. 1, 2, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7, 8, good, 2, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, 2, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, 5, 6, good, and I'm going to stop you there, I'm sorry. Good, guys. Don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere. Stay with me. Good, that's good. If you made it to the stage, stay with me. We're just going to carry on playing a little bit. And if you haven't, you're going to definitely be needed again in a moment, but you can take your seats for a second. Okay, just spread out, guys. If you are on stage, there are only a couple of rules. There's no going wrong, right? It's only play. And secondly, whatever we do, let's try and stick with the task. So if whatever happens, we try to stick with the task, and we try and do it without talking if we can, because that's the easy default. Let's try and see if we can do it without talking. I'm going to lead you through something very nice and easy. It's just about walking. That's all. We're just walking, okay? So off we go. Just on the stage, everywhere, I'd like you to walk and just open your senses. So what do you see? Really see what's around you. Good. Really take as much detail in as you can. Great. And use all the space. So don't just stay in the center and try not to walk in a circle. And so you take in as many details as possible. What do you hear? What can you hear? Good, guys. What can you hear? What can you see? Can you feel the air on your skin? And can we take the pace up a little bit? So keep all of this going, but we're walking faster. Just be really aware of each other and cut through the crowd. That's it, good. Take risks. Good. And we're going a bit faster still. And we're using all the space. Good, 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 good. Very nice. Very nice, using all the space, taking risks, cutting through the crowd. Good, 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 good. And faster, 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 taking the space up. Good. Okay, we keep going. The focus is great, guys. So very slowly, really so slowly that it's hardly perceptible, we're going to take it. Oh, that was very perceptible. We're going to slow down. So we're walking. We're going to walk, and we're all together. We're going to try and negotiate the slowing down. But we're still aware of the space we're walking in. We're trying not to clump up too much in the back there. There's a lot of room here where I am. That's it. Good. And so in awareness of each other, we're trying to reduce the pace at what all together make the decision together. So gradually, we're slowing down. And we're still using all the space. And we're still cutting through space. Good, guys. Great focus. And we keep this action of trying to slow down together. We keep trying to be aware of what people are doing around us. Slowing down. Until we get to a very slow walk, so slow. So slow that we're nearly still. Good, lovely. Good, very lovely. And can we decide all together of a moment to stop? Great, and let's spread out, spread out, spread out, spread out. And 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2. 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2. 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2. 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2. And 5, 6 and 7, 8, 4 more times. 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 more times. 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, twice more. 3, 4 and 5, 6, good, 7, 8 and 1 more. And 5, 6 and 7, 8. Thank you, everybody. That's all I've got time for. Thank you very much.